Good afternoon, folks. This is Board Kender, and I'm here to take you on a tour of the Lee Pro 6000 6-pack progressive press. A few things to get out of the way. This is my first YouTube video, so I apologize for any stuttering, blur camera, etc. It is what it is. We're going to deal with it together. This is going to be my first live runs loaded on this machine, so we're hoping for the best. I'll take you on a more in-depth tour of how the functions go on later, but most importantly, I have a face for radio. The voice does not match, so my apologies on that. As we move over here, you will see past my very cluttered workbench the priming system. It has this black arm, let me get my finger in there, that is ribbed on both sides to agitate the primers in the feed. It also has a pin that rides up and down to mate against the knurls in this support structure here. This over here is an afterthought. It's Lee is calling it their primer slide hold down. The original launch of this, the arm would flex up with the spring here and cause a lot of jams. So they sent me the file to print, and that's what we've got here. They also sent one in a fancy Lee red color. But I like mine more. I think it fits the aesthetic, and I already had it on there, so why change a good thing? All right, let's get going. We're gonna turn on the case feed here. You'll see that that's pretty standard, par for the course for Lee's current iteration of products. Also, I'm going to try to avoid mentioning any brands of what I'm using other than Lee because no one is paying me to do this. This is for you. And right there, the first shell, once it moves into position 2 at the bottom, that is when the primer goes in. It primes at the very bottom of the stroke. You'll see I'm using the Pro Auto Disc. It is just a really preference because I already have a known good load value with the disc that I like. We're also using Lee's fancy primer collection tube that I forgot to put my cap back on. Pardon the blur, as I'm getting primers all over my floor here. At least they're spent. All right. I forgot to show off one thing I wanted to, and that's the new arms that are being used to secure. They're a nice, thick nylon or plastic that it looks. You can see them here. They're pretty easy to function. If you want to move them, you move them. They're not like the old metal ones that are, you have to unscrew them to move. Oh, we're caught up on something here. Not sure which one. And there is our first completed round. Oops. See, this is what happens when you're not paying attention, folks. This little guy's going to have to sit over here, and he'll wait for his charge to come through because we forgot to put a projectile on him, we being me. So far everything's coming along nicely. I do have some issues in one of the positions from a powder spill I had earlier when I was calibrating my mess. You really want to make sure at the bottom of the stroke you give the handle a good press up so that the primer gets seated nice and correctly. I mean, really, this is about what you expect a progressive press to do. You crank the handle, and it moves. You'll see it has a positive locking pin coming up all the way to hold the shell plate in place. That's a nice improvement, in my opinion, from its predecessor, the Lee Loadmaster. Now, you see over here, there is no shell to prime, so the primer is just going to be going up and down on that same post. It gets pulled back, it comes back, and there it is again. Alright, now that those are set, we're going to take our oopsie poopsie, put it back in the chain, close it up, again with the nice easy manipulation of the arms. I probably didn't get those on paper. It's going to go up in my blank slot there. Set that up intentionally because I knew I'd make mistakes. There is our 10th projectile. Up she goes, down she goes, and finally for our factory crimped die. There you have it, folks. 10 rounds, 10mm small pistol primer. I know, it's disgusting, but it's the only shell plate I got. Let me know what you think, and if there's anything else you want to see, I'll be doing a operation video later to show you the teardown so I can give it a good cleaning from a slight powder spill. Thanks again for watching.